We're here going to Animation Academy.
Waiting for subscribers.
Thank you.
Got our papers.
And so in this class, those of you who have never been here before, what's missing at the ends of your pencil? An eraser, yes, along with a donut. A donut should always be at the end of your pencil. But yeah, you're missing erasers. Really with animation, we're drawing a character from a stop motion film, so in order to make her move, they didn't draw her. She actually was like a little figurine that they moved around every second. But at one point in time, she was a rough sketch. So really, it's like the foundation of every animated film is rough sketching. So that's what we like to draw here. And I feel like when you give someone an eraser, you have this pressure and you want to make it look like how you see it on the big screen or even how you see it on merchandise. When in reality, rough sketching is not supposed to look like that at all. It's supposed to be a lot of messy lines to make up that idea that you have in your head and just trying to put it down on the page. And really with these Tim Burton characters, especially with Sally, the more like imperfect your drawing is, actually the more on point you are with Tim Burton's style, because that's just how he draws. But we're going to be drawing a portrait of Sally, so just her head, also a little bit of her dress because she needs to look stylish. But we're starting off with a circle. Just keep your lines nice and light in the beginning, and are you ready to draw?
Yeah.
Yes, huzzah, says everyone, including in my heart. We're going to start off with that circle toward the upper portion of our page. I would say about the size of a baseball is perfect. And as I'm drawing in these lines, I'm adding in a bunch of them. That's the key, just adding in a lot of these lines. And for me, circles can be kind of difficult, so that's why I have to like shave off some sides and blend these lines together to get the circle that I want. So I got my circle on my page. I want to cut this right here through the center. So cut it in half. And I'll even stretch this line down to the bottom of my page. Now it looks like you have like a lollipop. We want one more guideline. We want to cut this circle again in half. So left to right. And then to add in her neck, I'll start here right underneath that circle and I'll stretch out these two lines. First, they're going to start very parallel. And then as they get closer to the bottom, I'll flare them out a little bit. So this is like how her neck is widening to make her shoulders. She has a very long, slender neck. And then down here at the bottom, I just want to add in a little bit of her dress. So this is where I'll add in a very light V shape here. And to show that it's actually sitting on top of her shoulders, this is where I'll add in, you can add in a slope here. And this is where the slope can actually kind of come out a little bit more just to show her shoulders. And I don't want it to look too much like a paper, a paper doll where it's just sitting on top. I want to show that this dress is wrapping around her. So this is where I'm going to add in a couple of these lines over here to the side. And here we have a base foundation for Sally. So you can kind of see her, but really you see more of like cheese, right? In my opinion, I say cheese. Like fancy cheese that come in like balls and like fancy parties. Not that I know, because I don't go to fancy parties. But what we want to do now is we want to make the details of the dress stand out a little bit more. What's fun with her is that she sews all her own clothes. So if you want to give her a particular design, you can. But as you can see, I'm going to pick some of my favorite lines here. I'll make them a little bit darker. And now you can start to see that these darker lines, they're just popping a lot more. And that's just because our eyes are just naturally attracted to these darker lines. So this also gives you an opportunity to adjust your artwork if you need to. So if you don't like the lines that you drew originally for her dress, you can change it up. You can draw in another line because you haven't darkened it in yet. You still have that opportunity. The ones that are going to pop are the ones that you choose that you want to pop. Down here at the bottom, I like adding in patterns for her dress. She has like kind of like a burlap portion, like a patch over on one side, and then she's got swirls on the other. But if you want to add in a different type of a pattern, give her pizzas, pumpkins, churros. Yeah, why not? Churros are great. Everyone likes churros. Maybe even Sally does. But now's the time that I want to go up and just lock in her neck up here. So bringing forward these lines here to the side, all the way up to the bottom of the circle. Now, does anyone know who created Sally in the movie? Crickets. Well, if you can shout it out. I can't see you right now. But if you know. Nobody knows? Yeah, Doctor. Do you kind of know what his name is? Starts with an F. It's Dr. Finkelstein. So that's his name. If you didn't know, now you know. But he's really loosely based off of kind of Dr. Frankenstein. So Sally's kind of like Frankenstein's monster. She's the monster, so to speak, but very cute. But she does have all these seam lines all across her body because she was stitched together and created. So she's got one about down here lower on her neck, kind of like a necklace. She's got one also that's like kind of running up the side of her neck, like she's been cut open. And she's got one more about halfway up her neck, kind of like a choker. But if you want to add more, the more you're going to add on her, the creepier she'll look. So it's kind of like how you want to leave it up to your Sally. And very similarly, her stitches that go across here, the more you add of these, the creepier she will look. You can add in little lines, little X's. You can have them slanted, close together. She's an expert seamstress. But what's really great about her, and I feel like it's her superpower, is that she can like detach parts of her body and they're still animate, so like they'll still move and stuff. She like tricks Oogie Boogie that way at the end of the film. She like hurls herself out of a window and is totally okay. She like she's like throws herself out of a window, falls down, falls apart, wakes up, sews herself back together, and walks away like everything's cool. She's like, yeah, it's all good, man. But yeah, so I think she's pretty awesome in general. But we're about halfway done with her. How are we doing so far?
Pretty good.
Okay, got some goods, got some nervous shakes of the head like, oh, Sarah, why did we come here? No worries, hey, are you having fun?
Yeah.
Sweet, because if you're not having fun, that's okay. Churros were invented for this reason. And also, but besides, this is not for like any class or deadline, like you're not an art student like I am. Alright, let's continue on though. We're going to draw in her eyes. So with Sally, all of her features on her face are super tiny and dainty except for those giant eyes. So they're going to sit right here along that horizontal guideline. And I'll start off by making a really stretched out rainbow over here to the side of my circle. I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side, kind of just building these eyes up at the same time. And Sally has what we know, we call it an almond-shaped eye. It's otherwise known as a princess eye. And yet, you may ask, why, Sarah, why isn't Sally a part of the princess lineup? I agree, she should be. It's her right, it's her birthright. She's the princess of Halloween. I just have a little bit of harsh feelings about this. just a little bit. It's all good. Something you can do though is you can make that top rainbow, her lash line just a little bit darker. But that's where her eyelashes are gonna sit. She's got really long, kind of creepy eyelashes, but they kind of go in like sets of V's. So up here at the top, I'm just adding in like, maybe like 4 sets of letter V's. You can add more or less, you know, depends on just how you want her to look. You can even go back in and give her some mascara if you want. Now with her pupils though, they're super small. Again, this is another classic Tim Burton thing. Large eyes, tiny, tiny pupils. But you can switch up the shape of the pupils. They're just circles, but if you want to give her like little hearts, little stars, go for it. You can also have her looking in any which direction. I like to have her looking over to the side because she always is looking at what Jack is doing because she loves him so much. And yet he just doesn't know she exists. Not that I know from personal experience. Anyway, her nose is going to go right underneath these eyes. It's just a small hill. In fact, when you draw this in, it looks like she's making a little meh face. Like she's just like, meh. It's true, right? You can't unsee it. But it's okay. We're going to draw in her smile next. She does have these seam lines across her face. One of them is over the eye that's over here on the left. She was a big fan of The Lion King, so you know she had to like mimic it in some way, shape, or form. And then over here underneath, I'll draw in her smile. It's gonna start off as a U shape. She kind of looks like another character from another studio. He likes chocolate milk and cereal. There you go, someone got it. You're picking up what I'm putting down. But this is not her actual lip. She's got lips that sit on top of that. Her upper lip is very tiny. It's like the small letter M. and underneath is going to be a U shape, so like a letter U. Again, small features, giant eyes. But now that we have pretty much her mouth in place, we're going to add in those stitches as well across those lines I drew. Again, the more you add, the creepier she'll look, so it's all up to you. You can make her as cute or as approachable as you want. But now that I have that in place, what are we missing? What's the last thing? Yeah, we need her hair. She's got hair that, you know, is gorgeous. But it is kind of flat because she is a ragdoll. I'm going to start right here to the side of her head. I'm going to stretch out, like a really stretched out, you can make it like a C shape. It's also hair, so if you want to have it flowing a little bit, you can totally, like at the beginning sequence of when they're singing This Is Halloween and like the hair is, the wind's blowing through her hair. It's another option. But I'm starting off with these lines, but we want to jump up to the top here. I'm going to close off the circle for the top of her head. And then I'm going to add in the part of her hair. So it's like a little V shape, kind of looks like a bird flying away. And this hair is going to follow very closely to the side of her head here. And as you get right here to the end, you're just going to follow the curve that you made earlier and bring it right back down. Do the same over here on this side again. Just follow the circle until you get right here to the edge and then just follow it down. And what's something you can do, especially with her, if you'd like to add in just other like lighter strokes of the pencil just to show the strands of hair, you're more than welcome to. But the last big step for Sally is just closing off her face here, her chin. She doesn't have a complete circle for her chin. She actually has much more like a heart, almost like a heart of a face. So I'm bringing down, and as I bring down these lines, I'm just kind of shaping it and just giving her like a little bit of a chin. Not too much, you know. She's not like the Crimson Chin. She just needs something like very delicate. But pretty much that's all you need for your very own Sally. If you want to go back and add any other details, you're more than welcome to. Something I like to do, just to show that this is the back of her hair, you can draw some lines down, just to show it's not like fading away into the background. And if you'd like, I like to also shade this portion in just to show it's like using the side of your pencil here just to show a little bit of contrast to everything that's going on there. But when all's said and done, you need to sign your artwork. So find a good spot next to your Sally and make sure you sign your name. So in the end, how'd we do? I got like a not too bad, sweet. And then overall just stunned silence because she looks super cute, right? Yeah, I got a lot of laughter, so that means you must have had fun, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Well, before you go, before you jet out of here, I'd love to see everyone's sketches. So on the count of 3, what I'd like you to do is to really turn your boards around and to show off your sketches of Sally. These are great. You did a good job. These are dead on. Give yourselves a nice big round of applause. You passed the Animation Academy. Congratulations.
So this is where we ended up.
As we do need them for
Wow, good job.
And